Hey guys, welcome to the stream. As usual, we'll give 5 more minutes to get started. In the meanwhile, we'll play the intro. Welcome everyone to the class. I hope everybody knows about what's going on in the channel. Everybody knows that we are going through SQL classes. Before we get into SQL class 2, last class was on last Sunday, which was on 29th of May, if I'm not wrong. So we went through a lot of topics. Today is the second class where we will jump into the rest of the topics and probably the advanced topics like stored procedures, so Windows functions, probably triggers will also cover in the next class. And if situation permits, we will also, we'll also do a interview class or some sort of advanced case studies or something like that we'll plan for the fourth Sunday. Okay. Can we have a confirmation whether my audio is properly audible or not? Can we have a confirmation, guys? Can we have a confirmation, guys? Okay, it's audible. I confirmed myself. Great. Um, 11 people, not bad. So, thank you all for joining. As usual, I'll just talk about the PPTs. I will quickly go through the last class. We covered a lot of things. Obviously, last class was very basics. So, in case you have missed it out, you can find the link in the description below so that you can go through that particular class and then jump into this one. Okay, so last class we covered the basics of SQL. We covered how to install, whether there was a comment somebody was facing some installation issues, right? In case you have some installation issues, join the WhatsApp group or the Telegram group, which is in the description below. There you can probably ask. I'll redirect you to some installation videos, but I don't think installation is a big problem. So I think you can manage by yourself, right? We covered database. We covered what is DBMS, what is a relational database. We also covered the various database architectures. What is a file server? What is a client server? And all those things. We also covered the basics of SQL. We covered the data types. What are the different data types? These are the major SQL command categories. We covered data query language, which is nothing but select queries. We covered data definition language, which is create tables and alter tables and drop tables. We also learned about data manipulation language, which is manipulating the data by inserting records, updating records, or delete records. Right. I wish YouTube, basically what happens is my when I'm speaking and the moment you are typing in, there is a delay. This is how YouTube live streams happen. Okay, so wish there wouldn't have been delay. I would have done some interaction with you as well. I could have asked you some questions, but I don't want to wait. So probably will not do that part. And yeah, control language is all about grant and revoke, but we are not covering this as part of data analysis because this is something which is being handled by DB admins. Okay. Keep all the questions for the last few minutes. Probably will take last 10 to 15 minutes for all the doubt clearing class, all the doubt clearing. Okay. In case any question is relevant to what I am teaching right now, those questions I will pick immediately. Other questions I'll keep it for the end. Okay. We also covered about primary keys and foreign keys. Primary keys are nothing but unique and not null, right? How to define a primary key? You can define create table name, then define all your columns that you want, and then you can define, hey, my primary key is department ID. So the moment you define your primary key, by default, this department ID cannot be null. So even if you don't write this, it still works. Okay. So By default, department ID will be not null. By default, department ID will be unique. Why? Because primary key is department ID. Okay. Foreign key is something which is being referred by another table that could be a primary key in another table. Okay. So create table, all these columns. In this table, employee ID is primary key, foreign key is department ID. So there is a relationship between this and this. So now I have table 1 and table 2. This table, both the tables are related to each other. How? Based on department ID. Okay, simple. We covered all these things. How to create a database? Simple. Create database and the database name. Done. How to create a table? Create table, then table name, in the brackets, column name, column data type, comma, column name, column data type, comma, whatever columns you have, and then that's it. If you want to define primary keys, you can define after that. Primary key is this, foreign key refers to this. So this is how your create table query looks like. We also covered insert. How to insert data? Insert into table name and then values. Sorry, before the brackets there will be values. Okay, and then you provide your values. How to update? Let's say I want to update a table. Let's say I want to update my age. So my age in the table is by mistakenly written as 24. I want to update it. So update table name, set age. Let's say my age is 32, 33, 32, whatever it is. Set age equals 32 where name equals to Satyajit. This is how your update query looks like, right? Similarly, alter database, alter table, alter columns, all these things we have already gone through. Duplicate a database is very simple. You can just copy paste it, but it's not that required, right? How to drop a database? Simply by using the drop command, drop database. So all these things, restoring a database, database backup, these are basically not a part of your data analysis activities. So you can skip these things. We covered the basics, table basics, all these query language, DDLs and DMLs we covered in the last class. So I'll quickly jump into today's agenda, which will be on joins. So one of the most important topics is going to be joins. So again, theoretically, I will cover, and practically, once I need it, I will turn on my MySQL database. Okay, there गया. Joins. Okay, joins is very important in SQL, and top priority questions comes from these joins. So when you go for interviews, right? When you go for data analysis interviews, they will not ask you, can you write me a command where I want to print name, first name, and age. They will not ask you these questions. Most of the questions they ask, I'm talking about some good interviews like in Facebook or Amazon, they will ask you questions related to joins. They will ask you questions related to nested queries. They will ask you questions related to stored procedures. They will ask you questions related to Windows functions. So these are very advanced topics which we will also cover. Okay. So joins. What do you mean by joins? Very simple. Join means jodna, right? If you have two tables, table 1 and table 2, how can you join them? There has to be a linkage, right? There has to be a common column. If you don't have any commonalities or any common columns, you will not be able to join. Like, you will still be able to join, but that will make no sense. Logically, we use joins when there are some common attributes between table and you want to join. For example, I have, we will cover stored procedures in the next class. Don't worry. Let's say I have a table called as employee. This is a classic question that people ask. Okay. And if you are not able to answer this, probably your interviewer will not move ahead to the next questions. This is a very common question. Many people ask this. Employee and manager. So let's say I have employee name, employee age, employee salary, and department. So let's say Mr. X, age is 30, salary is 10,000, department is D1. Something 32, 12,000, D2, and goes on. Manager, manager or whatever it is, manager, let's say manager name, age, salary, let's say department, something like that. So here your common question, common column is department. Now if somebody asks you, can you print me all the employees under Mr. Mr. This, how can we do that? So in this question, we want some columns from this table, some columns from this table. In this case, definitely there has to be a column that should be common in both the tables. If you have common, then you can simply join them. Okay. So there are majorly four types of join. Okay. One is your right join, one is your full join, one is your inner join, and one is your outer join. Sorry, full join is outer join. Inner join, right join, left join, outer join. These are the four main joins. Another one is self join. Let's say you want to join along with the same table, table 1 with table 1. There are some scenarios where you want to do that also. Cross join is nothing but your Cartesian product. Okay. So similarly, cross join is also very similar to full join. So in most of the real world problems, we might need data from multiple tables. That's where joins come into picture. Okay. Now you can see what do you mean by join. Let's say here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Here you have 8, 10, 12. A and B. So how many elements do we have in A? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. How many elements we have in B? 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now if somebody asks you, can you find me the inner join? Inner join means the common attributes. What are common in table A and table B? What are common? 4, 6, 4, 6. So if you take an inner join, your output will be 4, 6. If you want left join, that means all the attributes from A and the matching attributes from B. All these things are your part of left join. So your left join output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Don't get confused. This is just an example. I will take examples in MySQL also. Okay. And what will be right join? Right join will be simple. All these attributes. So right join will be 4, 6, 10, 8, and 12. And outer join will be a combination of all these entities. Okay. Cross join is basically present in some of the SQL databases. In some, they have full join. Okay. Just terminology change. Now we will talk about right join. So in order to implement it, we will probably take some example. Okay. I want to give me a second because currently my presentation is shared. I'll have to share my screen. Just one second. Give me one second. Okay. Share screen. Entire screen. Visible? Visible? Okay. So, huh. So in order to implement this, what we will do is first we will go to our MySQL Workbench. We will create some data. I'll go to my local instance. So this was my last class, right? So what I will do is I'll save this query and probably I will hand it over to you after today's class is over. Okay. SQL Live Classes. day 1. Okay, similarly I will do how to find a new query. Day 2. Okay, how many tables do we have? Show tables. Department, employee info, employee, new employee. Okay, so for this one, let's try to create some data. So we are having employee info and project. Okay, employee info is already there. So let's start from info. Based on this, I'll create a new database. Create database project. Let's say I want project ID, project name, and I want student ID. Okay, and here I will do int varchar and int. Try to create it. So create table. My bad. So my table is created. Select project. Now this is my table. I'll quickly insert some records. Insert into project values project ID. Let's try to query this table and see the data. Based on that, I will create some records. Okay. So project ID. Let's say project ID is 1. Project name is data analytics. And student ID, let's say 99980. Okay. Same 881, 883, 884, 885. So all the students are assigned to this project. Let's say there is another project where, let's say we'll remove 83. We'll make it 2. 5, let's say 2, let's say 2. Okay. So, okay. So this candidate is assigned with 3 projects. 2 projects. 1 and 2. Okay, we'll remove this and we'll make it 1. So 99980 is assigned with 3 projects, right? 1, 2. Sorry, 2 projects. 1 and 3. 99981 is assigned with 1 and 3 again. And others 83, 84, 85 they are assigned with 111 project. He is assigned with 1 and rest are with 2. So I'll just create this data. My data is created. Now I want to find, I want to do the right join. So let's say how the query looks like. I will write it down and then I will explain. Okay. Now, okay. Now what I have done here is, okay, we'll do one more thing. We will also create some projects where there will be some employees that are not a part of table 1. 11111, 11112, 11113, 11114. Okay, we'll create this. Got it? So right now what I'm doing is I'm doing right join. Now I'll draw this again. How does my right join looks like? My right join is very simple. This is table A, this is table B. My right join is all the records from table B. You can see here all the IDs, project IDs are visible here. Project 4 is also visible. Project 4 has these students, but these students are not a part of table A. So in short, in B, how many students do we have? 11111, 11112, 11113, 11114, and how many common? 9980, 99980, 81, 83, 84, 85. So there are no unique elements in A. So there are no records in A that are not present in B. If you want, we can also add that. Let's add that. So we'll add one record in employee info. We will add my name. So my ID is 99999. Okay. Whatever it is, Arizona, I don't care. Okay. This is done. Now, so 99999. Clear. Right now, this is my Venn diagram. This is called as a Venn diagram. So how many total student IDs do we have? If you find the unique number of student IDs, you can simply do distinct of student ID. It will show you the distinct student IDs. So we have 80, 81, 83, 84, 85. I'll note it down. 80, 81, 82, 83. Sorry, 82 is not there. 83, 84, and 85. And 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, these are the distinct student IDs from this project table. How many distinct student IDs from the first table, which is my ENP info? So we have 80, 81, 83, 84, 85, and 99. Now this diagram is clear, right? This 99 is not present in second table. So I have drawn it here. What are the common attributes? The common are these 80 to 85. These are common. So it's a part of my common attributes. 11, 12, 13, 14 are present here, right? Now if I do inner join, only information of these students will come. If I do left join, all the student information will come. If I do right join, all the students information will come. If I do outer join, all the information will come. So now what I'm doing here is I'll explain the query right now. So here I'm doing right join. So right join, what will happen is the output will have student IDs 80, 81, 83, 84, 85, this. These 9 student IDs will be found. You can see this number is not there. Why? Because it belongs to A. So right join, in right join query, this number will not come. This student does not exist, right? So when I'm doing right join, all the entities for these records, all these features are coming: first name, last name, ID, age, city, state, project. Because we have this information is table 1. For these, we don't have entry in table 1. That is the reason it is coming as null. Got it? Now I'll explain what is A dot star, what is B dot star. Simply what I have done here is just forget this step. Select something from, something is nothing but what you are going to print, right? From table 1, I have provided an alias called as A, like your nickname, so that somebody can call you easily. Like instead of my full name Satyajit Pattnaik, people in Hong Kong call me Sat, my teammates. So Sat is my alias, right? Similarly, A is my alias for EMP info, B is my alias for project. So here what I'm doing A dot star. That means all the columns from A and all the columns from B. Now if I run this, you can see all these columns are from table 1 and all these columns are from table 2. Let's say you only want some information. You want first name. Let's say you only want first name, last name, ID, age, project name, and student ID. Let's say. Oh, we didn't update the project name, but it's okay, right? If you just need these things, now you have to identify this belongs to table A, table A, table A. There are two IDs, ID and student ID. I don't need this one. Okay, so this from table A, table A, table A, and rest two are from table B. So what I will do, A dot first name, A dot last name, A dot age, and project name and student ID from B. So B dot project name and B dot student ID. Now if you run this, you get only those data, right? So this is how you write your right join. Keep asking doubts if you have any doubts, very relevant doubts with respect to your topics. I will cover. If you have some doubts on a general, probably I'll cover it in the end. Now, if I do left join, only these records will come, right? And for this record, all the B columns will be null. Agreed? So I'm just changing it to left join. You can see for Satyajit Pattnaik, the entry is there in table 1, but entry is not there in table 2. Here student ID is coming as null. Why? Because this candidate does not exist in table A. So if you want to change it, you can just change it to a.id so that your ID is visible. Right? Similarly, same query, if you do inner join. So in inner join, only these records will come. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records will come. Like 5 student ID records. You can see 999 is not there, and these numbers are also not there. So inner join is giving you results only for the common elements. Okay, let me ask this. Let me get this question. Moitri is asking if I use SQL Server SSMS. I think most of the queries in Microsoft SQL, in MySQL, or in Oracle SQL, 90% of the queries are same. Okay, just 10% there will be mismatch. That's it. So most of the queries will run. If you are running it on, your SSMS, this should work fine. Yeah, you can do that instead of using A and B. You can do that. So let's say I don't want to give any alias. So I can simply do, but you can see you know, the, it's not user friendly. Like it's okay, you can do it. Project ID, wait, project.id, project, it's employee info. Up to you if you want to give alias or not. A.id, what's wrong? Oh, my bad. Here also. A.id and project. So same. The first query and the second query is same, but here I'm using alias, so it is very not complicated. Here you have to write everywhere you see employee info. It's up to you. Okay, now right join is clear, inner join is clear, left join is clear. Outer join, I'll also cover outer join. Probably outer join is not present in 1 second. Outer, I think it's full join. Let me try it out. We'll take this one. Outer join is a part of Oracle SQL. I think it's not a part of MySQL. Full join is a part of MySQL. No, full join is also not a part. Outer join in MySQL. I think here we don't have. Yeah, I think here we don't have outer join or full outer join or outer join. We don't have that concept. But in case you want to do that, you can simply do a union operation. That means all from left and all from right. This is how one of the answers has been provided. So it's very simple also. In Oracle SQL, you have this outer join. If you do this, that's your outer join. You can see here all the information is there, all the student IDs. 9999, which is a part of A, that is also there. These four, which is a part of B, that is also there. And the common attributes are also there. Okay. I have done a simple union operation. A union B. A intersection B. Intersection B is nothing but your inner join. Union is nothing but your outer join. Okay. Union intersection we all study in probability and mathematics, right? It's very simple. So, okay. After join comes your potentially a very important topic, which is import and export. Because all that matters to you is if you have a data set, how can you import into your MySQL database? How can you export the data? That's what more matters, right? So now we will be covering that. So data importing is of two techniques. Like there are two ways to import. What is import? You have a database, you have an Excel file. You want to put the data into the database. That is called as import. The file is already a part of the database as a table, or else generally there is a table in a database. You want to extract that file and you want to download it as an Excel sheet. That is export. I mean, these are English terms, right? Import and export, right? Very simple terms. Now, data importing, there can be two ways to do importing. Guys, if you're not liking the stream, please like it. Sorry, my bad. If you're liking the stream, please like the stream, like the video. If you don't like it, then don't like it. Okay. But if you don't like it, then you should not be a part of the stream then. Why my screen is showing just 11 members? Do we just have 11 members? Give me 1 second. No, 66 members. I think there is some YouTube glitch. I was just demotivated for a minute. Okay. So two ways of importing. एक्सेल फाइल है एंड हमको डेटाबेस में डालना है. एक्सेल फाइल है या फिर जेसन है, वट एवर इट इज, वी हैव टू push the data into database. So one of the techniques is a manual import. That means you manually go and do a table data import wizard. Table data import wizard वाला जो option है, using that you can import it. Another technique is through command line. Okay, so I will be teaching you both the techniques. Let's get started with the first technique. Let me save it, day 2. Now, for the importing part, what we will do is we will use another database. Okay, so I'll create database YouTube import export. Use import export. So this is my new database that has been created, right? Import export. And in this database, I'm going to import a table. So on the left side in the schema, what you can do is you can go to your database, go to your tables, right click, and then you will see an option table data import wizard. Click on it. Here it is asking table data import allows you to easily import CSV and JSON files. And these are the two mostly accepted formats. CSV है, Excel file also works. Okay. But CSV is better because it is comma separated, so automatically it will be easier for your MySQL databases to understand. Okay, now I'll browse. I'll try to find a Excel sheet. Okay. Let me. Churn modeling. Churn modeling we will use. Okay, churn modeling. You can use any CSV file. I will also show you how this file looks like. This is how the file looks like. Okay, I have row number, customer. What is this? Customer ID, surname, blah 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 blah. यहाँ तक. ठीक है. All these columns we have. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 columns. How many records? 10,000 records. Okay. Now I will just select next. The moment I select on next, it is asking me that do you want to use an existing table or do you want to create a new table? Like our database, import export database, I have just created it, right? So I will create a new table on the go. There is an option called as drop table if exists. That means if this table exists, drop it and then recreate it. Simple. So I'll use the create new table option. The moment I clicked on next, automatically you can see row number is being identified as an integer, customer ID integer, surname text, credit score integer, geography. So how this is how intelligent MySQL is. They are able to identify. Estimated salary is in decimal places, so it is able to identify double. So you don't have to do anything. Click on next, click on next. Now this is a 10,000 rows record, 10,000 rows file. Probably it should be done in like 30 to 40 seconds, but let's wait. Excel is a software, SQL is a language. You use SQL to query to multiple SQL databases. And the main aim is that uh, I'm just giving you a feeling, look and feel on how database people work with databases. If you don't want to work with databases, you can skip the SQL part. But SQL is a very important part. Most of the interviews in data analytics, they focus on SQL. SQL is first priority, then comes little bit of probability and little bit of statistics, and then they will ask you about Power BI or Tableau. But first is SQL. If you don't pass in SQL, it's very difficult. So how much time did it take? It took 67 seconds. Should not take that much, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Excel is not a data analysis tool, but it can be used as a data analyst an analysis tool as well. Okay, finish, and you can see now if I do show tables, I'm able to see this table. If I select the table, I'm able to see the records. Simple. Now we will do the second option. कौन सा वाला? This one. I'll go to next and I'll try to use the existing table. So in order to do that, just to test, okay? So I'm deleting all the records. Else there will be duplicated records, right? Okay. So my table is empty. My table exists, but उसमें मसाला नहीं है, right? Now what I'll do is I'll just quickly refresh. Again, I will use the table data import wizard. Again, I will take the next one. Here, instead of creating a new table, I'm going to use the existing table. So I'm using this churn modeling table. Next. next, next. Logically, it should take less time than the first attempt because table creation also takes a time, right? So table is already created, so should not take us 67 seconds. Somewhere around 30-35 seconds it should take. Next class is going to be all the advanced topics, stored procedures, all these triggers and all those things. Next to next Sunday, logically next Sunday is the last SQL class. I should stop there, but I'm planning to take another class for SQL, which will be on next to next Sunday. That's going to be on interview questions or case studies, SQL case studies, and all those things. But only if people share about that class, I will be doing the class. I need at least 150, 200 people who would be interested in this. Else, it's just a waste of time for me. 2 hours I'm spending for classes, 2-3 hours for preparation. So a lot of efforts is being done. Why it is taking a lot of time? इतना time तो नहीं लेना चाहिए. So this process is very irritating. Sometimes it takes time. It depends on your processors also. Backend में if you are running something, no, in that case it might take more time. But इतना time नहीं लेना चाहिए. Done. इतना time कितना time लिया? 101 seconds. Can we just do one more time? I want to see why it is taking so much time. Just one more time, okay? Okay, okay, I got it. Why it is taking more time? It is mapping from this table to that column. Okay. So the first process was slower. Anyways, the second technique, let it happen. I'll jump onto the PPT. Okay. So after your this technique is done, this technique could be a failure when you have very huge data. Sometimes, right now, I'm playing with a toy data set. This file is hardly 10,000 records. If I go ahead and check it out, probably ज़्यादा नहीं होगा, like somewhere around किधर था? Churn, churn, churn. किधर था वो फाइल? हाँ, churn. Just 669 KB. But when scenarios, there will be scenarios, right? You will have like millions of records. In that case, this technique will time fish. It will not work because this technique is very lengthy process. You can see it took just 61 seconds. So it is always recommended if you have huge data like millions of records, definitely a better approach will be to chunk out the data from 1 million records, create multiple short files, and then do some scheduling and push the data to databases. Now for that you have to write scripts. Let's not go in depth into that one, but the second technique I will cover will hardly take just few seconds. It will be very easy, and that will be through command line. So how can we do it using command line? We will try to follow the steps. So again, I'm deleting the table. I'm deleting all the records. Okay. So table is created. We will just push data to this table. Okay. So we'll follow these steps. All these steps will follow. Open MySQL Workbench. Okay. Create a new database to store the tables you will import. Blah blah blah. First step is done. Second step. Copy the MySQL bin directory. So where is my MySQL? It should be in the same folder that has been informed here. MySQL, where MySQL Server 8.0 server, and then bin. I'll copy it. Go to folder in command line by using cd. So everybody knows how to open your command prompt. Now command prompt is open, right? Let me just थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे I'll do like this. Okay. So in command prompt, I have to go to that directory. Now I'm in which directory? I'm in C users user, right? Unix mein there is a command called as cd, which means current directory. People coming from Unix background, they will be able to know it, right? So if I do cd space my folder, I'll directly redirect to that particular folder. Okay. Now right now I'm in this MySQL Server bin folder. Okay, we'll go to the next step. This is done, this is done, this is done. Connect to MySQL database using this query. So I will do MySQL minus u means username. What is my username? My username is root. This is the same thing, guys, here. The way I connect to this instance, right? This is the same thing. Username is root minus p. I will not pass my password right now. Enter. Now it is asking for enter password. I will pass my password. I will enter my password. Enter. You can see welcome to my MySQL monitor. Now you can see I am basically in my MySQL database right now. If you want to select this table from command line, you can easily do that. You just have to use your database and select empty set because there are no records. Okay. See, there are no records. Count is 0. Simple. Now we will move on to the next step. This is also done. If you are logged in successfully, then set the global variables by using below command so that the data can be imported from local computer. I will run this command. Set global local in file equals to 1. Set global local in file. So ये वाला जो है local in file, that's a configuration. That's basically one method inside your MySQL bin folder. Internally एक वो चीज है parameter है which we have to define it as 1. 1 basically means you will give an access to your local computer to be able to push a file to your database. Okay. You have just instructed MySQL Server to allow local file upload from your computer. Done. Quit the current server. Okay, we will do quit. We will follow everything. Okay, bye bye. Now load the file from CSV file to the MySQL database. In order to do this, please follow the commands. We will connect with the MySQL server again with the local in file system variable. This basically means you want to upload data into file from a local machine. Okay, people who are already having MySQL Workbench installed and command prompt and all those things, they can try it out in parallel. Just take a CSV file and follow what I am teaching. That's it. Or else, if you don't want to do that, go to the lectures. बाद में you can study later on. Okay. So I'll try to run this command. MySQL local in file equals to 1. उसके बाद -u root -p root. If you don't want to pass it, you want it is failing. MySQL local in file equals to 1. This one. Okay. So I am now logged into my MySQL database again. Here it is asking show databases. Okay, we'll do show databases. We will use our database that we have created. Use database changed. Now this is more important. You don't have to learn and all these things. You can simply copy these things and try it out. Nobody will ask you these things that can you write me these commands and all those things. If you simply remember few topics, right, If somebody asks you, hey, can you import data from a command line, then you can simply tell the steps. Hey, I believe we have to go to MySQL bin directory, we have to change that local in file variable, and then we have to load the data. There is a huge command, we have to follow that. I don't remember the command. That is completely okay. Okay, so don't worry about remembering these things. So we'll try to write it down in notepad and then probably we will copy paste it. I don't want to do a mistake there. So load data, local, in file, and then path into table, table name, fields terminated by comma, enclosed by this, lines terminated by slash r slash n, ignore one rows. Okay, this is what the command is. यहाँ पे I have to pass the path. I'll go to the path slash dot csv. Okay, so instead of single arrows, we'll give double slash. Now just cross check it if you are able to access it. it. It's okay. We are able to access it. Okay, everything looks fine. I'll just copy paste it and then I will go to my command prompt and okay, error table. Okay, so here is the mistake. Table यहाँ सब change नहीं किया. So table name is which table we were using, churn modeling, right? And then I'll copy paste again. Done. Within few seconds it will be done. You can see how fast it is. The first process was taking 60 seconds or 100 seconds. This process took 1 second, just 1 second. So you can imagine you can do millions of records, but it is not recommended to do millions record one time at one time. Probably if you have 1 million records, divide it into 10 or 20 chunks, and feel you have to write some script which will go to that folder, call the files one by one, and then load it. Something like that. Okay. But if you have 10,000, 100,000, 200,000 records, you can simply do it like this. Okay. So I'll just do by. Sorry, by does not work. Quit. Done. Done. Now I'll directly go to my database and I will check. I didn't had any records. Now I have 10,000 records. Simple. This is MySQL Workbench. So this is how you import the data. If you have table, import karna hai. Simple. Right. Now other way around. You want to export the data. Simply you can see if you want to export certain number of records, let's say I want to export only 1000 records, so select. There is a there is something called as limit function. I will explain that, but it's very simple. You are limiting your database to just 1000 records. Here there is a save option, you can just export it. Okay, now some people might be asking, what is the benefit of importing and exporting? You got it right. If you have a raw file, you want to just import or push the data to your database, you can use your data importing techniques. Because tomorrow if you are using a live database in your Power BI or your Tableau, and you don't want Excel sheets, you want data from database directly, you can use it. Right, now if you want to get this data, let me just quickly tell you, just opening Power BI a little bit. Okay, let's say this is my Power BI and you are working in a live project. Simple. अब live project में if you are working, you will not use CSV files, right? If you want to use CSV files, you can simply, go like this, and I keep forgetting कहाँ पे here. No. You can import like this. But if you are already using a live database, you can simply go here, go to your live database, select MySQL, and यहाँ पे you can go to your database, connect your database. And here you want to pass your server details. Let's say this is my local host server. What is my database? My database is this one. Advanced options. Do you want to get this query? Yes, I want to this. I want to get all this data. Click on OK. Done. Your connection is built and your data is in your Power BI right now. Got it? Let's say I don't want to pass any statement. I want to just check the database. If you click on database, it is showing you this particular table. Now I'll load it. Okay. We'll not go into Power BI right now. Again, it will be too much complicated. So let's say I have my table, right? Let's say I am creating this customer ID. So how many records I have? 10,000. Okay, 10,000 records, right? Simple. Now let's say I want to insert few more records. Let's say I'll insert one record. Insert into churn modeling values, phone number. Randomly, I have populated one record. Column count does not match value count. Great. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. 1, 2, 1. ठीक है. यहाँ पे मिस हुआ. रोल नंबर, कस्टमर आईडी, सरनेम, क्रेडिट स्कोर, ज्योग्राफी और यहाँ पे. Okay. I insert it. Now how many records do I have? If I do count, I have 10,001 record, right? 10,001 record. Here you just simply refresh it. As you are already using a live database, your data, whenever your data changes, directly your Power BI will also update. It is not up to Power BI. I'm just giving you an example. Power BI, Tableau, whatever it is. This is how live databases work, right? You must be working in a database where there would be millions and millions of transactions happening. There will be millions of inserts, millions of deletes, millions of updates, right? So you cannot simply work on flat files. Only on proof of concepts, POCs, you can work. But when you are working on a live project, you should work on a database, right? So when something changes in the database, your dashboard should also change. That is the advantage of, you know, using a database. Got my point? We'll jump on to the next topic. Okay, everybody is clear with the data importing part. So data importing can be done manually and can also be done through command line. Exporting, I already showed you how to export. There are another ways to export it as a SQL file. Let's say you have a database. You have another database. You want to get data from here and put it here. There are two ways to do it. Either you download it as an Excel file or a CSV file and use data importing techniques, or you directly download it as a SQL file and insert the records or run the SQL file. That is also works. So simply you have to go to server and data export or import or export, whatever it is. But mostly data export and import usually works with SQL files. Let's say you want to export. What you want to export? You want to export YouTube import export and this table. Where do you want to export? It is asking the folder and it is telling कि ये भाई ये वाला जो है it will be dumped into this SQL. So if you start it, it will take few seconds and it will be done. It is done. Now if you go to that folder, you can see my SQL file is ready. If you want to see what is inside it, you go to this one, open it using a WordPad or something. You can see automatically there are so many commands, right? Drop table if exists, then it is creating the table, then it is doing insert tables. So in short, it has prepared a SQL file based on your database. Now, this file can easily be used in another database and imported. Let's say you want to import this data into another database. Let's say we'll create another database. Create database new test. Okay. Ab new test is ready. If you see, my new test is ready. Now let's say here you can simply create a table very similar to this one, and then you can go to the server and do the data import. Here you have to pass your dump file location and start your import. Okay, that's how you do import and export on your SQL files. But again, these are some things which data analyst does not worry about. So don't remember these things. Only for your local purpose, you can just use the import export the way I taught you, right? Either by doing table data import wizard or using your command line. Okay. The next topic is going to be aggregate functions, but before that, I want to take a 5 minutes break. We'll all go for a break and we'll be back by next 5 minutes. Guys, please like the video. 68 people are watching and only 47 likes in the video. Likes are free. You can like it as much as possible. No, not as much as possible. Just tap once. Okay, guys, we'll go for a 5 minute short break and then we'll be back. Sorry. Okay, I am back. Probably we'll also get started with the next topics. Okay, we'll get started with the next topics. Okay, I do have some time constraints, so probably we'll try to wind up the session a little bit early today. Honestly speaking, I haven't taken my dinner. My wife was preparing, but uh, just she finished the dinner preparation just 2 minutes before the stream started. So I haven't taken my dinner, and it's almost 10:30 local time. Okay, we'll get started with the aggregate functions. Now, what do you mean by aggregate functions? Again, this is a very generic and a very easy concept, but a very important question that is also asked in interviews. And many people fail to answer this, even if it is very simple. Aggregate means you are aggregating something. You are aggregating like sum, count. All these things are your aggregate functions. Sometimes we examine and analyze data of varying magnitudes. Hence, we realize the need of grouping similar types of values together and look them at one bunch. For example, consider a table containing data consisting of the marks scored by students. So many theoretical concepts. I'm not covering this example. Okay, I'll directly jump. Using group by, you can simply aggregate. How? Let's say you have data, you have name, you have customer. We'll directly go to MySQL Workbench. Now, why are we taking this example? I'll go to this one. I'll take this. Okay, simple. This is a simple select query. Now, somebody asks you, can you find me the total count of records? Very simple. Count star. Ultimately, the output of an aggregated function is always a single number or a accumulated value or an aggregated value. So if you are running this code, running this command, your final output is an aggregated value. If somebody asks you, can you do one thing? Can you find me the total sum of estimated salary? Very simple. You are aggregating the estimated salary. So min, max, sum, count, all these are your aggregate functions. Now, if somebody asks you, can you find me the total salary? Not total salary, yeah, sum of total salary, okay? Sum of total salary per geography. That means I should get France and its total salary, Germany and its total salary, Spain and its total salary, or sum of total salary per gender. Okay, so male and their total salary and female and their total salary. How can we do it? Simply by using a group by command. That means group by command is basically used to group. You want to form groups, right? You want to form two groups here. Group 1 is male, group 2 is female. Guys, do not ask these repeated questions. If you want to join the streams, you can join it from the beginning itself. I usually cover all these basic questions in the beginning. Don't join in between and ask some random questions. MySQL and my MS SQL are almost similar in the architecture. 90% of the queries will be similar, only 10% difference. So how can we group it per gender? So let's say simple, select star from, I'll write the table name. Here I want gender and I want the total estimated salary. Simple, that's what I want right now. Now this column does not exist, right? I want to do one thing. What I can do is sum of estimated salary. That's what I want. Now here you will not be able to get an output if you don't group by. So if I have to use group by, I will do group by. Group by what? I want to find groups of gender, male and female. So I'm going to do group by gender. You can see for female, the estimated salary sum is this. For male, it is this. Let's say I want to do it for geography. For France, it is this. For Spain, it is this. For Germany, it is this. Very simple. And all these are your aggregated functions. This is your aggregate function. Count is your aggregate function. Let's say you want to find the minimum estimated salary. This is also an aggregate function. So various aggregate functions are min, max, count, sum. All these are your aggregate functions. which helps you to aggregate. Okay, count, mean, max, average. Average is also an aggregate function. Now we will learn about ordering. Ordering group by, however you understood what is group by. Let's say we will also take some other scenarios of group by. Probably you want to group by based on geography and gender, and you want to find the minimum age. That is also possible. Let's say geography, gender, minimum age, group by geography, gender. If you run this, something is wrong. Am I? Oh, age. What is the age column? Age. Yeah, that should be okay. Oh, oh, group by. Silly mistake. Happens. So, if I'm doing this, you can see for France, female, the minimum age is 18. For Spain, let's say I want minimum of estimated salary. Done? Very simple. Now here you can see these numbers are not sorted, right? How to sort it? So in SQL, in order to sort the records, you use something called as order by. Now order by is always used after group by. That means once your query is ready, on top of that you are sorting it. So let's say I want to sort it. Order by, let's say I want to order by gender or minimum of estimated salary. Should work. If I'm not wrong, yes. No. Aggregate function, it works. Yes, yes. So order by your this one. Let's say as main cell. So based on that, you can see Germany male has the lowest minimum salary. Spain female has the highest male salary. Again, these are very basic things. Sometimes interviewers start with these kind of basic things also, and they try to see if the candidate is able to answer. They increase the complexity slowly, slowly. So ordering, quite often you want to just display the retrieved records in a particular order. For example, in increasing order of income or joining date or alphabetical order. Let's say you want to order by minimum salary in a descending manner, that is also possible. Okay, you just have to use a keyword which is desk. By default, if you don't use anything, by default it is ascending in order. That means minimum to maximum. If you want the other way around, you can do it. If you want to order by geography, that is also possible. Just order by geography. Spain comes first, then Germany, then France. If you don't want that, you want F first, then G, then S, then you can just do it normally, or ASC. ASC keyword is not required, but in case you want to add, you can add it. Okay. This is commonly useful when you are making a report or presenting the data to someone else. I already covered this thing. I already covered limit. Limit function is only used in MySQL. If you are using Oracle SQL, there is something called as stop. As I told you, MySQL, MS SQL, and Oracle SQL, they are almost similar. Ultimately, they use SQL language, but just few changes. That's it. So if limit function does not work, if you are taking this code, you are running it on MySQL, MS SQL or Oracle SQL. If it does not work, simply try to Google what is the alternative of limit in MS SQL. You will get the answer. The communities are that strong, right? After order by, then comes your having clause. Now, having clause is very important. You have already learned how to filter individual values based on a given condition. But how do we do this on grouped values? Suppose your manager asks you to find a type of contract where the total count is greater than a certain value. Now we'll take this example. This one. Let's not order by this one. Okay, now if somebody asks you, can you find me the records where the minimum salary is greater than 300 or greater than 100? Can I simply use a where clause here? Where min sal is greater than 100? No, does not work. When you are working on group by queries, when you are working on aggregated functions, in that case, if you want to put some what do you call filters, you want to add some filters, in that case you will have to use having clause. So here if you run this, it will fail. If you want, you can do this. It will fail. Unknown column min-sal. It is telling what the hell is this? I don't understand. Okay. Because after your aggregation is done, you have to put a filter on top of that. You're getting my point, right? When you are running, see, code runs from left to right. When you add where clause here, and which means group by has not run right now. That means you are just running like this. And this will not work because aggregate function like this one only works with group by. So if you run it along with group by, it will fail because it is expecting this column outside the group by. That means you want to run it on top of your group by. So your where clause has to be outside your group by. Where min cell greater than 100. Will this work? This will work with minor tweak. Where clause always works after the table name. After group by, you have to use having. Now if you run this, it will work. So in simple terms, having clause runs after group by query. Where clause runs before group by. Getting my point, right? So अगर तुमको group by लिखना है, on top of that कुछ query करना है, filter करना है, in that case you have to write having clause outside your group by. If you want to filter out something from the original table before group by, then where clause. Simple. With practice it will come, so don't worry about it. Next one is limit. I already explained this, limiting to X rows. Now let's say you want to find just 5 records. Limit 5. Limit 5 is very similar to pandas df.head 5. If you know Python, you will be able to relate. Pandas में जो होता है ना data frame df, df.head 5 is limit 5. If you are doing limit 10, this is head 10. That means you are showing only 10 records. That's it. Now, using limit, can we solve a problem? Very simple problem. Again, this question is asked in interviews as well. Again, very simple problem. Find me the customer who has the highest salary. Very simple. How can we do it? Select. First, what we will do is, I want surname. We'll print surname or customer ID. Customer ID. Select customer ID from churn modeling. Limit will use, but before limit, order by estimated salary desk. Okay. Now, if you only run this command, this customer ID is having the highest salary. If you just want to check it out, you can add that in your select query also. You can see Mr. This Mr. is getting the highest salary, 199992. In that, if you limit it by 1, which means this customer is having the highest salary, right? Very simple. You want the top 2 customers, you can do it. Now, if you need the second highest one, probably we'll try to answer that in the last class. Okay, for that you might need some more information as well. But you can also do it using limit function 1 comma 1. That will give you the second highest. Okay, there are other ways to find second highest, third highest, nth highest. These are the questions that people ask. We'll try to practice those questions as well later on. Limit हो गया भाई, and then exercise. Okay, these are okay. List the keywords below in order of their occurrence. Group by, order by, select, where, from, limit, having. So simply, if you start working on this, select star from table name, where something something, group by something something, order by something something, having something something, limit something something. This is how your query looks like. Select star from table name where something greater than something or something equals to something, group by, order by, having, and limit. So if I tell you the occurrence, then probably 3, 5, 4, 1, 2, 7, 6. Okay. Next we'll have string functions and datetime functions and regex probably. Nested queries won't be covered today. We'll be covering it in next class. So last few topics left. Before that, I just want to do an announcement, guys. I hope everybody knows this, but just repeating once again, in case you might not be aware of it. Okay. So, anyways, I'm just repeating these things. People who are a regular, regularly who attend my streams, they would be knowing this. That I have recently launched. Recently, I have announced that I'll go live every Sunday, probably every Sunday, but logically every Sunday is not possible. Like sequel, we are planning for this one, right? We are planning for next class and next class. Probably uske baad one class I'll be taking leave, like thoda sa relax, and again from July we will get started with a new topic, maybe tableau, and down the line tableau hoga July mein, down the line probably in August we'll have statistics, then September we'll have machine learning. So all these things are anyways planned in this channel, free of cost. Probably by the next month I'll try to implement the membership wala thing, but that should not be that costly. But it depends. दिमाग में आया तो I'll have membership. दिमाग में आया तो I'll do it for free. But I just want to do a small announcement, guys, that I already announced it in the last class as well. In case you are really focused on joining a data analytics bootcamp, this is something which is being organized by Zep Analytics team, and I am going to be one of the main trainers in this program. And this program, you can go through this program. I think link might not be in the description below. I'll leave the link in the description below, or else if you are a part of the WhatsApp group or the Telegram group, we'll also share there. The cost of this program is 4,000 rupees for Indian students, and for international students, as they will be using PayPal transaction fees is a little bit expensive. So the fees is $70 for international students. Okay. The features wise, this is a complete 5 months boot camp. 5 months of boot camp. Boot camp matlab simple terms mein course. Okay. In 5 months, 4 months will be teaching, and 1 month will be capstone projects. Teaching jo hoga, I have myself designed this syllabus. I can guarantee you, you will not find a syllabus like this. You can check out MIT, you can check out Oxford, you can check out Stanford, you can check out Various other brands, they are charging 80,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. You will not find such syllabus. We are covering everything from scratch here. Introduction to the course, Python for data analytics, statistics for data analytics, Microsoft Excel, SQL and NoSQL databases, Power BI in depth. Like people who have taken my Udemy courses, they always, this is, I'm not flaunting myself, but they usually give me good feedbacks that sir आपका Power BI course तो बहुत अच्छा है. But that is not enough. 10 hours or 8 hours of Power BI is not enough. In boot camps, we will be teaching you for 20 hours, 25 hours of Power BI. Tableau. We are also giving predictive modeling, which is nothing but machine learning. So, in short, the name is data analytics, but it's a data analytics with machine learning bootcamp, 5 months program. How it is different from iNeuron? I don't want to get into political situations, but just giving you a brief idea. Before you enroll for iNeuron, check it out who is really going to teach. Okay, Krish cannot teach in all the courses, so do a research on that, and always check how many people are joining in those boot camps. The last boot camp I taught in iNeuron, there were 890 students under me. So right now they are aiming for 2000 students. Anyways, be I'll not talk bad about other programs. You can just do your own research. In my course, I will only focus on 50 to 60 students, not more than that, because I can handle 50 students in parallel. Okay, so do your own research, guys. Don't get biased. Don't do all. It's you are spending your money. Do your own research. In my program, I'm going to be a teacher. Okay, and you know how I teach. Now I don't have to pitch more about myself. You can go through this. You can check it out. Course completion certificate भी है. 2 months intensive certificate. I give all my access to all my Udemy courses in case you want to do a fast paced training, project based learning. There are a lot of things that are already part of ZEP. You will get an access to a lot of things as well. We have more than 100 200 projects right now. You will get an access to all those projects as well. Okay, in case you have any questions, you can let me know. I'll jump onto the last few topics. Probably we will be winding up the call in next 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so next topic is string functions. After string functions, we will be covering datetime and regex. Regex का ठीक है, regex थोड़ा सा will cover. Okay, reach out to me, Harsh. We'll talk. Okay, we'll not waste people's time here. String functions used to manipulate the string data and make it more understandable for data analysis. These are some of the functions that we use in MySQL. Concat, substring हो गया, upper, lower, character length, mid. There are many more. You can just go through this one. After this class is over, whoever is a part of my WhatsApp group, I will be giving you the files as well. Uh, I will also make it public in the video description itself. You can download the file. Okay, nothing to worry about. I'll give them access to it. And apart from that, I'll also upload all these day one, day two wala SQL files. So don't worry about it. So we'll go through string functions. Again, we'll take help of this table, churn modeling. Okay. Now let's say we will just try to combine something. Let's say I want to combine geography with gender. Select geography, gender from churn modeling. Now this will give me two columns, but I want to combine them into one column. So there is something called as concat. Concat basically means concatenate. That means appending to particular string. Let's say you have a string hello and you have a string world. You can simply concat them, right? Your output will be hello world. Similarly, how to concat in SQL? Very simple. You just have to use the concat keyword. Now, as I have used concat keyword, you can see my geography and my gender has been concated. There are two attributes. Let's say I want to add another attribute. something, something. Okay, I have written down something. Let's run it. So France, something female. Spain, something female. Getting my point, right? So you can also add more and more things. Something else. This is how you concat. I'm deleting it. Instead of something, I'll give a space. So now if I do it, this is how it looks like. This is also one of the string functions. If you want to store this column as a separate name, new name. Now if you run this, you can see the column name is new name. Okay. Substring functions. Let's say you want to use substring. You can see, let me just show you the original column also and the substring function. Substring basically means from a string object, you are getting some sub information from it. So let's say France. I have taken from second till next four letters. So R, A, and C. So let's say I will do 2 comma 3. So it will be 3. From the second letter R, take 3. R, A, N. Simple. Once you do a hit and trial on these things, no, it will be very easy. Upper, lower, all these are very basic things. Okay. I'll not waste more time here. You can simply run these commands by yourself. You will get it and you will understand for sure. You can also go through this W3 schools document to get into more string functions. Similarly, there are some date and time functions also. Date diff, date format, day, quarter, add date, and all those things. Okay, so let's try to use date diff. Let's say, do we have a date column? Let me get da, da, da. ये क्या नहीं I am lazy to write down create commands right now. Ah, okay, I already have details here, so I'm not going to create it. Okay, let me just copy paste it. Show tables. Okay, wait. Transaction details कहाँ पे Okay, iNeuron. Do we have a table called as iNeuron? Okay. Anyways, these are some old records. So I'll just copy paste it till here and I'll show you here itself. Okay. So I'll give this query as well. Transaction details. Which database are we using? We are using. I'll go to my original one. YouTube. Okay. Use YouTube. Scroll down. So here I'm creating a table transaction details. Simple. Production name, product ID, product name, product ID, order date, and amount. So create. Table is created. This is how my table looks like, and here I am inserting my records. Simple, very simple. Select star from transaction details. So if I run this original table, this is how my data looks like. I have some product names, I have some order date, and I have some amount. Simple. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 second. Book conversion. Take 1 second. Anybody wants to go for a water break, they can go. Just one, no, 2 more minutes, and then I'll just wind up. Done, done, done. Share screen, enter screen, done. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. So here I have my transaction details, product name, product ID, order date, and amount. All these things. So the first one is date diff. Date diff, by default, the meaning of date diff is it will give you the difference in the date. Let's say you have a date, let's say 1st January 2021, and you have another date called as order date. Okay, you want to find the date diff. So here I have used date diff function from date 1 and date 2 as this column, comma, product name, product ID, order date from this table. So if I run this, you can see the date diff is coming as 366, which basically means that from January 1st till this order date, the difference in days is 366. Another one is date format. Date format is used to format the date. Let's say you only want to show the year, you can use percentage %y. If you want to show the month, you can do %n. Similarly, %d for day, right? Sometimes you have to do that. Another method is day or year or week. Let's say you want to find a specific day, you can easily use a day of that. Let's say you want to find the day of order date and order date. You can see the order date is 1st of January. The day is also 1 and the year is 2020. Similarly, if you want to find the year, there is also a keyword called as year. So basically date format and this one are almost similar. If you already have a date column, you can directly use year keyword and call the column and you will get the year. Quarter, year, all these are basic things. And these all comes under your datetime functions. So under your datetime functions, date diff, date format, day, quarter, add day basically add days to a date variable. I'll show you add date also. Add date. So let's say this particular day is 15th of June, right? I'm passing interval -2 day. That means I want to do -2. So your output is 13. If you want to add 2 days, you can do interval 2 day. You want to add 10 days. So basically you use this particular keyword add date to a date object to either increase or decrease dates. There is nothing called as subtract date. If you want to reduce, you can simply pass a minus operation. If you do this, it will show you 5th of June. Okay. Next one is regular expressions. Again, regular expressions, I think everybody might be knowing it. That's my assumption. So far, you already know about the wild keywords, wildcard, like the like operator, right? But in cases, wildcard may fall short for some advanced use cases. Regular expressions or regex is a sequence of characters used to search and locate specific sequences of characters that match a pattern. Example, match beginning of the name. Simply, you can pass this. Let's say from this customer details table, okay, cust details is a part of, we don't have cust details. We will probably use churn modeling. Oh, we don't have. We will use YouTube import export. Okay. Here I will do churn modeling, and here on top of my surname. Okay. Now, if you want to find all the customers whose name starts with A, you can simply do A%, right? That is what we used to do using your like operator. Similarly, if you want to find this using regex, you can simply call where surname regex this operator and A. If you do this, it will do the same activity. But now, if your question is why do we need this? If you are able to get it using this, what if somebody asks you, can you find me the list of all the customers whose name starts with A, E, I, or U? Do we have to write where surname like this or surname like this or surname like this or surname like, it will be too much, right? Like too many attributes in the where clause. So in those cases, we don't have to, write where this like this or this like this or this like this. You can simply call your regex using just few lines of code. You can implement it like this one. So let's say you want AEIOU, AEIOU. You can simply pass it in a list. Or table names are okay. Now all these customers, my bad, wait, should work a little bit. Wait. Little bit confusing. This thing I'm forgetting. How do I pass AEIOU together? I'm forgetting this thing. I'll keep it open. Probably I'll answer in the next class. I'm forgetting it. Okay, I don't have time to Google also. A, this thing is basically, that means from A to E. Is it? Okay, I'll come back to this regular expressions. Probably next class we will start with the regular expressions. There are three, four sentences, three, four commands I will probably explain you. Uh, it's been very long time. I have lost my touch on the regular expressions part. I'll probably come back prepared on this. And the next class also, yeah, it should work this way. That's what I wrote. Why I wrote the same, right? AEIOU, but why it is not working? It should work. I am pretty sure. How many records are coming? 99322. Oh, okay. This basically means whose name contains AEIOU. So all these customers, but whose name starts with, okay, that will be an open one. So this basically, if you are passing some characters here in between brackets, that basically means all the customers who has these characters in their email address. Similarly, in our example, if you are passing AEIOU, that means all those customers who are having either A or E or I or O or U in their names, in their surnames. So 9,922 customers have vowels in their names. Other than that, the rest 800 or some people will not have. Is it dollar with people starting? Is it? I don't know. No, it's not dollar. Okay, we'll cover that. But this thing is covered. I'll cover few more scenarios and regular expressions as well in the next class. Probably we'll wind up the call here itself. So next classes I'll just show you the agenda. Okay. Next class will be on next Sunday. So the first thing we will cover is regular expressions for 15-20 minutes. Then we will cover nested queries, very important. We will also cover some interview questions related to nested queries. Then we will cover views. Views are low priority, very similar to tables. I'll just explain you what is the difference between views and tables. And then most important thing, stored procedures. Okay, stored procedures is very important. We'll cover that. Triggers, again, these are not basically used by data analysts. Honestly speaking, in my entire journey, in my entire career, I have never used a trigger. Whenever I need a trigger, I talk to my DB admins, DB folks, or my data engineers, and they, you know, write down the triggers. But I will explain you what is a trigger. It's a very similar to a stored procedure, automated stored procedure. I'll explain that. Windows function also a very important concept. We'll be covering in the next class. And then done, then I will just show you how we connect SQL from Python and Power BI. Power BI I already showed you. Next class I will show you again. That's all about this particular class. And next to next Saturday, next to next Sunday, we'll probably go through some case studies. That is all about today's class, guys. In case you have any questions, I'll keep the call open for a few more minutes. I just wanted to remind you guys, I have just updated the video as well. uh, the video's description will have all the details about the bootcamp. You can go through the link. Uh, if you have doubts, if you have no doubts, you can go ahead and pay. You will be receiving a welcome mail in few days, not few days, in 2 3 days. Many people will still have doubts, even though everything is clear on that page. In case you still have doubts, you can probably fill out the form or reach out to me. If you are joining the WhatsApp group, the admin of that group is myself, so you have access to my numbers. You can make ping me for any questions, any doubts. Okay, that's it. We'll probably keep it open for last 2 3 minutes. I'll go through the chat box for questions. Hello, sir. I was unable to connect MySQL. I think I already answered this, Nilesh. Be a part of the community. Somebody will help you out, probably by sharing a video where you can go through. But installation and all, I think, come on, you should be able to do it, right? हाथ पैर थोड़ा सा मारो and you will be able to do it. I think I already covered this. SQL and Excel. Excel is a tool. SQL is a language. What is stored procedure? Very important question. Join next class. We will be covering that. Okay. Almost similar way. SQL Server SSMS, which is Microsoft SQL Server, is very similar to your MySQL or Oracle SQL. SQL, yeah, I think Vivek already answered. SQL is used to run queries to get data from spreadsheets and some other data sources. Excel is used to create spreadsheets. Okay, and yes, you cannot create charts and dashboards on SQL, but on Excel, yes. Great. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for helping out. Thank you, Arman. Arman, yes, thank you, Arman. My pleasure. Trying hard to teach as much as possible. I was away from live training, but I'm back right now. I want to grow my channel as fast as possible. Thank you, Darshan. What is the use of retools and relational database? Retools? That's quite new to me. I don't know about retools. Relational database is very simple, like databases that are related to each other. I think I already covered this, Raghu. I don't want to talk bad is the right keyword. I don't want to talk bad about any other boot camps. Do your own research, and yeah, there are many. I don't want to talk anything bad. It's okay. Job assistance, yes. Everybody is providing job assistance, and it all depends on whom you want to take from, right? From me, uh, again, the way I teach, I have done career counseling myself from the past 3 4 years. I don't know in iNeuron or in other platforms who will do that career counseling. Most of the platforms क्या होता है, they ask people to join and then किसी भी random trainee या फिर किसी भी low experience लोगों से भी they give this kind of career counseling guidance and all those things. I do not do that. My students, I do career counseling myself. So I cannot compare कि उससे मैं अच्छा करूँगा and all those things, but I have done it in Hong Kong. We run boot camps which costs you around 4.8 lakhs, and there is 100% guarantee in that. I'm not talking about that program, but all of my students who learn, who do not skip a class, basically I'll give that right term, who do not skip a class, they join all the classes. I can guarantee they do not need job guarantee, because they will have a job even if before they finish the boot camp. Okay, that's what my guarantee is. But yeah, in short, we will be providing you career guidance as in resume preparations, mock interviews, and all those things. Statistics, I haven't decided. Probably same like 3 4 Sundays maybe we'll plan. And nothing is planned. It will be on the go. Maybe I can take a vote on LinkedIn. Based on the votes, I will decide my next classes. MySQL important? MySQL is just MySQL is just a tool which uses SQL as a language. SQL as a language is important because ultimately data scientists and data analysts we work with data, right? So it just gives you a feeling of working with live databases. That's it. The company you are joining tomorrow or day after tomorrow, they might or might not use SQL. They might be using NoSQL. They might be using MS SQL. They might be using something else, MongoDB. So at least when you learn SQL language, you will be able to understand कि हाँ ऐसे होता है, and you can easily learn NoSQL languages as well. Nothing to worry about. Data structure and algorithm interview, no. Majorly they don't ask. किसी किसी interviewers को चुल होता है, they ask. Like people, I know there are many people in my group जिनको इंटरव्यू लेने में बड़ा मजा आता है. They just ask some random bullshit questions. Doesn't make any sense, but if you are in those kind of interviewers, then फिर वाट लग जाता है. If I take interviews, I do not ask data structure and algorithm questions. I go very deep into machine learning. I go very deep into what the candidate has done. अगर वो NLP पे काम किया है, I'll ask questions on NLP, on his project. From his project, I will try to ask on some boundary scenarios. I'll probably give him some case studies. That's how I interview. Okay. Please also share SQL. Yeah, we'll try to. I am preparing a document. I already have a document, interview Q&A document on zepanalytics.com, but that is kind of 99 rupees for 10 documents. But I am also preparing another document which will be given to all of my viewers. So nothing to worry about. If you are a part of the platform, no, part of my WhatsApp groups, probably yes, you will get all these things. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you. It's already 11:26, guys. Please hit the like button before you go ahead. कुछ भी करना है बंद कर दो वीडियो बट लाइक कर दो वीडियो को. That's it. See you in the next class. Thank you all for joining this session. It was really nice. 2 hours of session. Please go through the videos again and again in case you have doubts. Reach out to me on my group. That's it. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.